Hello, it's the Iron Harvest here. Thank you for watching a little bit of an intro. Changing it up a little bit, trying to find kind of the what works, what doesn't work, as far as working on the video creation. Today, I'm going to be doing a video on the Sun Yat-Sen. This is going to fall under the Maiden Voyage series, which is just the first time that I play a ship, and so kind of give it the good, bad, and the ugly. I don't know if this is something that I will keep moving forward or something that, maybe I'll retire at some point. Because at that point it does kind of require a bunch of extra, new ships coming out. I know I want to do one on the Yodo at some point, but I'm still not having started that grind yet. Just do things that, that are coming out. Today we got the Sun Yat-Sen. It's a tier 9 Pan Asian Battleship. It is on a Soyuz hull, which is the tier 9 tech tree Russian battleship, but with Kremlin-like guns. They are the same caliber, the 457 millimeters. The alpha, I think, is a little bit lower. I do think that the alpha was less than that of the traditional Kremlin, but and obviously it's the dual turrets instead of Kremlin's layout, and it's on the Soyuz hull. So here we go, kind of going. We're separating the div. I was actually playing with a couple of buddies of mine. It wasn't until after the match I was sitting there and thinking, oh, this was my first game in it, so I should make the video if I'm gonna bother with it. So which means the team score screen I did not get. Spoiler alert! I forgot to print screen that prior to closing out the game application last night. So we'll do something a little bit different. Things that are worth noting is the reload. If you take the reload mod, I think it gets you down to about 21-second reload. I'm a big fan of the Republic. I like it a lot for the reload. The dispersion is questionable at times, but you get to get shots out. And in the Sun Yat-Sen, it's pretty similar. Yeah, you're just right around 21 seconds, 21 and something, with no AR applied, and that's with the reload mod. You do get, 6 guns, which means sometimes you're wishing you had another turret to work with. If you've ever played 6-gun battleships, you'll know that sometimes the salvos just open up, and the accuracy is not there. Luckily, I didn't need a lot of accuracy on that Hayate that we shot at the beginning there. Our black just eviscerated him. I think Thunderer had gotten a good hit and whatnot, so that Hayate is down. So that's great. We know that we have a Benham in Bravo and Orkin over on the Alpha side. So we are only missing the submarine somewhere. I haven't seen his pings or anything like that. So I know that I don't have to worry about, Giga torpedoes or anything like that. You do have some good pen, but, still Kremlin, a little bit of trolley armor. If anyone's ever shot at the Soviet battleships, you know very well that they can be an absolute pain. We have a little bit of mutual assured destruction over there between the Benham and the Shima, torping each other out. So again, even further for a destroyer to make its way over to me. Kind of stinks that it was lost in a trade like that, but it is what it is. Those shots on that Buffalo a little bit too high on the upper belt for Citadels. Didn't have, couldn't bite into that lower Citadel plate. And that's probably my aim, to be honest. Kind of doing that head bob up and over an island. Not being able to see. I am trying to adjust my angle to this Richelieu. He's very intent on just kind of running it. I do snake one more salvo in, and this time I aim properly, and I'm rewarded with the kill on the Buffalo. I am going to turn and just eat these torps from the CV. I'll eat a couple, but again, it's better that I eat a couple than to be flat broadside to a Richelieu, or an Alsace, excuse me, to an Alsace. He is shooting AP, which I'm going to be able to bounce if he hits anywhere on the nose. Obviously, he doesn't overmatch me. He bit into my superstructure a bit, which obviously, you know, if you've ever farmed a battleship, you know that you can get full pens on it. Not all the time, but, you know, it's not ever a bad idea to angle, but even if you angle, you're still going to be taking some damage here. So, on the Alsace, he's going to be turning out and angling, and I'm just not going to have either the dispersion or the aim. It might be a little bit of both. One thing worth noting, on the Sun Yat-Sen, you do have improved secondary accuracy, but if you look at the amount of secondary guns, 3 turrets per side, I would not recommend building for secondaries. I understand, you know, that we like to see improved dispersion, but it's not enough guns to really justify any sort of dedicated build. I am kind of watching carefully this Marlborough for 2 reasons. One, he does have my broadside if he decided to come out. Also, if he wants to move forward and whatnot, he can only angle so much. Obviously, he's under pressure from the Awami and the armory on the other side. So I'm kind of watching. You'll see me kind of pop my camera over there every now and then just to, what's he doing? What's he doing? Kremlin is also on my flank. He's running off the screen. There's not much he can do. His team has kind of gotten whacked over here. And the midway is transitioning. I'm not certain exactly why. Also, I had HE for this salvo. He was angled to my own defense. He was angled, but then he decided to show a flat broadside. Still get a fire, which he instantly DCPs, because everyone knows if you're a battleship, you DCP 1 fire instantly, and then just hope. For legal reasons, that's a joke, but it sometimes works out. Midway does get into range here, and I'm just going to start pelting him. Stall the dispersion. A couple of them found a home, and a couple went kind of up. I also feel like my aim was not leading him quite appropriately enough, so on my reload I kind of changed the point of aim a little bit as far as the lead, and this midway is he's a goner. The alpha on these shells is pretty big. Actually, I can check here. About 13,000 damage. Yep. That's with no heavy AP. We don't take heavy AP because we don't like to burn the fires. Nor do I have a super heal to cope with the amount of fire damage that I would be taking. And just like that, 7 citadels. 2 dead strikes. Not really, but because I had to space the midway out on a couple of salvos, and obviously that buffalo. So, I mean, the Kremlin guns, you know, as far as what to expect for good pen, I mean, they have it at distance. Yeah, that salvo I was a little sad at. Not gonna lie. Sometimes you're just gonna bracket targets. Sometimes they're gonna just fly over it, and then they're gonna go under it, and there's not much you can do other than say, all right, we'll try next salvo. So I'm moving up here now. There's nothing else to do. Our other side looking a little bit rougher. But what can you do? So we're going to go ahead and redeploy. I'm also wary that the Kremlin may be turning back in. Because if he does, that's a lot of HP that I'm going to have to try to stop in a hurry. Looking to see if there's anywhere I can sneak a shot in on that Marlborough, and it's just not going to happen. So I elect for the Nebraska here as he's coming in. He's pretty sharply angled. Nebraska's kind of annoying to shoot at, unless he's giving you enough to bite into that back flight deck, which you can do. It's very, very hard to Citadel. Its Citadel is pretty low. It's one of the new early access battleships that is out right now. So you'll see me in there. I'm kind of holding and waiting so I can try to bite into that flight deck, which when you do, you usually can get some good full pens because there's a significant amount of meat or distance that shell has to travel. to get through. Everything is going pretty all right here. Just going to be rocking back and forward. We see that the Kremlin is moving back in. I currently have an island in between me and him. And there you see one of those six gun battleship moments where you're just not getting the accuracy that you would out of something that had a little bit more guns, a little bit more accuracy through volume. He's also not angling super well to me, but Thunderer is closer, so shell travel time is a game mechanic, and I can't quite pick up that kill. At this point now, Bismarck is running. I think the Orkan is chasing the CV. I'm not certain exactly. I'm not going to be finding a submarine. I'm not going to be finding an Orkan on my own. So I'm just going to turn in and try to help on this Kremlin. That way, a little bit more damage to be had maybe. Our gear is I think he's trying to get some torps off. He's trying to make that approach. Unfortunately, a gear doesn't have enough health to really be able to shrug off repeated Kremlin salvos at close range. Kremlin's guns are devastating at closer ranges, and the gear, it's not able to handle that. He's turning to angle a little bit to the Richelieu, which I'm able to take advantage of. One citadel scored, so a little bit tighter dispersion could have served me, but he's not gonna be able to, with his rudder, change that angle, and he bounces off my side plating as well. So another one citadel, even though there was the other guns there. They just kind of dip short. Again, it's just something that happens. Maybe it was my aim. I don't know. I didn't look at it at extreme extra slow-mo. But sometimes you're going to have salvos like that. And it can be frustrating, but I don't know. For me, it's always just move on. Although sometimes when it's in the clutch, it can be extremely frustrating. Everyone deals with it. So that's kind of what I go back to, is that everybody has to deal with bad dispersion. We know that the Orkan is in the cap now, and I'm pinging on the map to let the CV know. He's bringing torpedo planes. I think they were probably meant for the Kremlin when he originally had sent them out. The guys on the other side cleaned up the Bismarck, and now it's just kind of the last two little sneaky boats. The 190 spotted beyond my range. If I had range mod, could have made the stretch, but at this point, he's pretty doomed. He's out of battery, or very close to out of battery. So I'm just going to kind of keep on going around this island, waiting to see the Orkan for when those CV planes get to him. I'm running as fast as I can to try to get around this island for that Orkan shot, but he squeezes through. So no Orkan at this time. He does get the cap, but it's kind of just a foregone conclusion. So we're going to just kind of watch the rest here together, as there's no more doubt as far as whether or not we were going to win this game. And it was actually pretty close for a bit there. It was just they didn't have enough juice in the tank, and they got stuck. The Charlie side in particular, where they got a lot of their units wiped pretty early, which put their Kremlin in a bad spot. So now I'm just trying to get shots out on the Orkan, and I kind of shoot a little here, a little there, trying to maybe make adjustments for some of his minor turnings, and we do pick up the kill. All right, for endgame scoring, we ended the game with 179,000 damage, 4 kills, and a single dead strike, though those 9 citadels, handful of them on the midway. You could argue that maybe I could have gotten another had I been a little bit closer in time, but obviously the time elapsed. 1.7 million credits, 10,000 free XP. I think I was running probably the blue boosters on this one, and whatnot. As far as the overall stats, this is my first game. Like I said earlier, I had forgotten to print screen the team score, so I couldn't tell you my base XP. Dropped the ball. Nothing else to say about that. Tanked almost 1 million potential damage. Not a lot of people shooting at me, to be honest. I think that this ship is probably, because it's on a Soyuz hull, like the Azure Lane Russia, I think probably, and the Sovietsky Soyuz, I think it's probably resilient enough that it could definitely tank some larger amounts. Damage upon spotting, 31,000. Again, not something that you're going to be triggering. You're not likely going to be triggering Combat Scout, the new talent, which improves Sajen Bing's performance. Again, also not really terribly useful on a battleship. But yeah, that was the Sun Yat-Sen. Hope you enjoyed. There's going to be a little bit of an outro for you to enjoy or skip over. And I'll see you in the next one.